18 to 1.
Andre Fabre is here with Intello, ridden by Olivier Pellier. This horse has won both of his races to date. Hard to really assess what the worth of that is. He's won them by relatively small margins, but it sounds like, and I haven't seen the races, it sounds like from the close-ups that he's done so always in control of the races.
For sure. Is it Monsieur Fabre is here?
Oui.
The fox is on the grounds.
Oui.
That's what they say at the Breeders' Cup. On the rare occasions that Fabre goes, they said the fox is on the grounds. But if he's here today, that's noteworthy. Intello, 2 from 2, really good pedigree by Galileo. Longshore Miz on her feet, both at a mile with plenty of give in the ground, but they are actively seeking a sounder surface, so that doesn't seem to be an issue. Could be anything, as they say. I don't know quite how good he is. I think I'm pretty confident that Racing Status is at least a listed horse, if not a Group 3 / Group 2 horse. Good luck, strong galloper, Lydia, as you know. He's not a horse who's going to win a good race held up quickening late, but he ran a blinder in that Good Sales race last autumn. Easy to back, but I suspect he'll go pretty close here.
Yes, Andrew Balding has been saying that he thinks the horse will come on quite a bit for the run. He's also talking about not wanting to have to make the running on him all the time. Yeah,
I think they'd like to get a good lead at an even gallop. He's got a long stride, long fluent stride. He's got a bright future. Kerbage took connections and punters by surprise at Sandown, getting up late. This is much deeper. We'll find out which one's going to win soon. Magistretti won this. Campanologist Redwood Ramouche tends to take a smart one to win the Fielden.
And the last one goes forward. Let's join Derek.
Stand by, we're ready for the EBM Paps Fielden Stakes. They're off and they're racing. Pretty good level break here. Let's see who's going to take them along. Favourite second right, Intello broke well, but in the yellow and blue, Blue Hafe is going to take them along. From Intello on the right, tracking this against the rails is Alta Lilea. Then towards the outside in the very white colours, that's Gloria Waits. In the blue and white Cabage, the one who's pulling quite hard towards the rear is Race and Status, and the back marker, that's King George River. At the end of the first 2 furlongs, 7 left to run. And in the yellow and blue, Blue Hafe. In the blue and white against the rails, the favourite, Intello. Third in the white colours, Gloria Waits. Fourth in the purple, Alta Lilea. Fifth in the blue and white is Cabage. Sixth in the yellow is Race and Status. And the back marker in the blue and yellow, the hat-trick seeking King George River. 5 left to run in the EBM Pabst Fielden Stakes. And as they come down towards us, just over half a mile left to run, it's still Blue Hafe making it. The favourite on the right, Intello. In third place, just being niggled at, is Gloria Waits. Poised on the heels of the leaders, Alta Lilea. Then comes Cabage. Then on the outside, Race and Status. And still the back marker, hopefully for a late run, King George River. Just over 3 left to run, and still Blue Hafe bowling along in the lead. The horse with the white face stands side. That's the favourite, Intello. On the far side in the sheepskin noseband, Gloria Waits. Alta Lilea is coming in 4th. 5th against the rails, getting closer is King George River. Trying to make ground on the outside is Race and Status. Then comes Cabage. The field tightly grouped inside the final 2. Past the bushes, down into the dip. Intello against the rails. Olivier Pellier says go, and the horse has gone too clear. Against the rails, King George River now comes out of the pack and sets off in pursuit. Third on the far side is Gloria Waits. Intello has the lead. King George River lays down the challenge, but Intello is too strong for them and is going to keep his unbeaten record. Nice performance for France. Intello the winner. King George River in second. In third is Gloria Waits. In fourth, Alta Lilea.
Intello maintains his unbeaten record in fine style by winning the Fielden Stakes for Olivier Pellier and Andre Fabre. Returned the 6-4 favourite. In second, that's King George River for Alan Bailey and Ryan Moore. A gap back to the third, Gloria Waits. Fourth, the filly Alta Lilea. Fifth, Blue Hafe. Sixth, Race and Status, and that leaves Cabage to be last. But fluently is the manner in which Intello has done it, in a race that was his toughest race yet.
Yeah, big time flat racing is back. The classics are on the horizon, and this fella looks likely to be going for one of them. I don't know which one, but everything about this performance was impressive. Yes, he's beaten an upgraded handicapper in the runner-up. Yes, Race and Status has failed to live up to expectations by a fair margin, pulling a bit harder than ideal when restrained early, but he's moved so fluently. Have a look at his action. You can completely see why Monsieur Fabre, as I call him, was keen to get this horse on a sound surface in England rather than soft ground in France, because he's got a long, fluent stride. He really points his toe. There he is, right of the leading pair with the white face. Predictably, Blue Hafe led. That's what he did last time at Lingfield. Not so predictably, Race and Status was checked back, restrained, and pulled a bit harder than ideal early on.
Although Andrew Balding did talk about in his interview after Zanetto won the Tattersall's 6 furlong trophy that they were going to try some different tactics with Racing Status. They didn't want him always to have to go to the front. They wanted him to learn to settle behind horses.
Yeah, that may well be the game plan from now on, but from the way I see this horse, he's a long strider who will show better form, much better form than this. Later on in the season, when perhaps ridden back in the old way, allowed to roll along. So pick them up at around just after halfway. Luhave takes them along. You can see the winner, Pellier, looks super confident on Intello. Next to Pellier and Intello is the filly Alta Lilea. On the far side in the very pale colours is Gloria Waits. None of that trio were good enough against the winner. The one who posed the biggest danger, Alan Bailey, has found another one, King George River. He's here from all-weather handicaps. He won off 86 and 89 at Lingfield and Wolverhampton. What he showed in both those races, Lydia, was acceleration, and that class has carried him to by far his career best performance here. He comes well clear of the remainder, giving a strong impression that he might well even improve a bit more from mile and a quarter. But the winner is definitely bred for middle distances. His Cyrus Galileo, his dam Impressionante was a very good quality filly, and that fluent action looks made for a sound surface.
His dam was classy at around about a mile, the winner. He hasn't got the British-based entries, so he hasn't got a Derby entry at this stage.
Well, I think Pourmois may well have been the last winner that Farb's had in England. Stand to be corrected on that, but he certainly was supplemented. I'm sure of that, Lydia. So they have that option. Either way, this is exciting time of year now. We've seen Hot Snap bolt up in the Nell Gwyn. We've seen this fella Intello land one for France in similarly commanding style, and when you look at distances like that, good gap between first and second, good gap between second and third, you start to think that we've got something here. We've got a proper pattern race horse. So he's unbeaten, he's in tremendous hands, his pedigree's strong, and his form is getting better all the time.
We had some significant bubbles burst. Gloria Waits, Curbage and Racing Status all held entries in the 2,000 guineas. The only ones that sort of emerge, well, the only one that really emerges immediately intact is King George River's Dante entry. They might well be tempted to go there.
I suspect Alan Bailey will be, and you're dead right. The reverse side of the Craven meeting coin is that lots of aspirations are dented, if not ruined, and a few where there. Curbage didn't live up to the promise of his Sandown success. Racing Status, I think we can expect a fair bit better, but on the day he was well beaten, and there can be no doubt whatsoever that the best prospect in this race is this fella Intello.
Another smart performance here on the first day of the Craven meeting. This time it has come from the French raider Intello. He's unbeaten after 3 starts. He was ridden by Olivier Pellier, and he is trained by the master Andre Fabre.
And that was a beautiful ride from Pellier.